Hey guys, in this video we got something cool. We went out to the hobby store and being a little bit bored today, I came across something cool. Now, everybody knows I like Losi. I like a lot of different companies, but I do have a soft spot for Losi. And in this store they had this. Now, it's supposed to be 10th scale. I haven't got it out of the box, so I can't be certain yet. It's a 1969 Chevy Camaro. It's four-wheel drive. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun to play with. Now, I've been doing a little pavement running lately, and if you look on the shelves behind me, you can see we've been gearing up some cars to go run with our friends. Now, this car right here, working lights, licensed body, it's built by Losi. It's a brushed system as it stands, so we're going to get it out of the box today. We're going to go over what's in there just to see what you get. Then we're going to take it out and we're going to play with it. And we're going to see what it does, have us that little play that we need to so we can tell what it's like. Then the plan is to tear the guts out of it and make it a quarter-mile car. Now, it's four-wheel drive, so it should be a lot of fun. And according to the rules that my team runs by, if it's four-wheel drive, you can run 3S, which should be really stupid. Sounds like fun. So let's get it out of the box. Let's go over the car, and then let's check it out. That looks pretty cool in there, guys. Check that out. Let's see what we got here. That's pretty cool, guys. Check that out. Nice. Little protective plastic over the top there. Excellent. Well, let's get you down in close and check it out. So take a look here. Looks like there's a couple of big zip ties in there, so there's the lights. Nice. Okay. There we go. Cool. Plastic chassis. Foam block in the front for a bumper. Looks like it has an ESC radio combo, and that's all loose in there. Looks like I'll have to reset that. It's got a motor cover on it. It does have a center drive shaft, but it looks like it's plastic right here. See if you can get a good look at that. See right in there, guys? Here, let's open the battery tray. There we go. And then this, like Losi likes to do this kind of stuff. Isn't that nice? But what that does is, it opens it up so you can see that drive shaft here. Now this one's plastic. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not that's going to make a difference. How it will hold up and whatnot. I guess we'll find out. I'm told there's an upgrade part set for that where you can put that to metal. As far as out of the box goes, I think it'll operate just fine this way, but when you go to amp it up and put the big stuff in it, I think we might have a bit of an issue. So we're going to definitely have to put a radio and a speed control in it. Okay guys, there you go. Real simple. This has just your regular servo. It's nothing too special. It doesn't require a lot to move this around. It does have the combo ESC and radio system right here. It does have a 540 sized motor, so this can get switched out. It is going to get a little tight for room when we go to put a receiver and a speed control in it when we do the upgrade. But as it sits right now, we have one small problem. This is EC3 and I use EC5 connectors, so we're going to have to either build an adapter or just switch that out, which I'll probably do. One thing that's pretty cool about this body though, guys, is take a look at the detail in it. And I know I haven't peeled the plastic yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to have a look at how cool the detailing is. And it has the lights. See the wire in there? It is all wired up, so this should be pretty cool. However, when you get into the box, and I did pull the other two items out, here's what else you get. You get your regular packet here, and the packet, just like Losi usually does, okay, it comes with batteries. It also comes with a tire wrench and a couple of miscellaneous parts. I'll have to look into those, see what they are. It comes with your manual, and the manual will give you everything you need for part numbers and all that stuff. And of course, you get a sticker kit to do, well, whatever you want with, because they're just stickers. But the weirdest part of this is this thing. Now this is, there's no brand on it that I can find. It does say that it's got the hobby, you know, the Horizon Hobby labeling, but it doesn't say if this is Spectrum. It doesn't say who makes this particular radio. And it's really tiny, guys. I mean, I barely can hang on to those. Now I do have big hands, but I can barely hang on to it. It's not comfortable in any way. The spring, the throw feels a little short. I do like the foam on it. The trigger, like I say, the tolerance is too close. Children should use this. And in order to get to the batteries, you have to pull this switch here and slide the whole handle off and change out the batteries there. Isn't that strange? So yes, I will try it. I will try and get this thing to work with this and see how it works stock. But I really am looking to upgrade this like immediately. So now that we've gone over what comes in the box, let's get a little closer look at the car. Okay guys, removing one screw right here lets you take this top plate off. There we go. And that's just a cover for the motor right there. And if you look, you've got a Dynamite 15-turn motor on the back here. 15-turn, it should spin up pretty good. I would expect this to set any speed records with that, but it should turn out pretty good. I don't know what the radio is going to do yet, and I really don't know how tough that servo is, but it should be adequate to the task. You've got your twin bell crank and your servo saver all right there for the steering. Everything seems to move freely and look pretty good. It is four-wheel drive, and it does have differential in the front. No differential in the back, guys. That thing's locked up solid in the rear. That's good. So we're posi here, a diff up front. That should make it interesting, and it's solid between the front and the rear. So this will be a little more interesting to drive than I thought it would be. And it's really nice the way this opens up, and it just takes a pin here to hold the batteries and then back in place, put your clip on, good to go. Okay. So let's get this thing up in the air here. There we go. And we have a 2S battery in it. This thing's got a storage charge on it, and we did have to change the connector from EC3 to EC5. Now I know that voids the warranty, but I personally don't care, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and plug it in. This hasn't been turned on yet. However, I did put the batteries in the radio, and it's a little bit of a trick to get in, and this takes 4 AAAs, not AA's, so it does take a little different size battery than average. So here we go. Plug it in, turn on the radio. There's a switch right there. The little LED indicates that it is on. We'll turn the switch on here and see if it works. Imagine that. Pretty straightforward, guys. Little speed test for you here. Here we go. And we're gonna just roll it on nice and slow. So here we go. Okay, let's put this together and let's go test it. However, there's one thing we got to do first, guys. Let's do this. Ooh, this is actually some pretty thick plastic here. Okay guys, so that was the first run for the car, and that was in stock form. Now what that means is we did manage to get this to function, and I did my best to control it with this radio. There is no gyro control, which is fine. That's what I raced without anyway, so that's all good. It did work. It didn't have any range problems. As far as being a radio goes, guys, this works. It's just, for me, not comfortable, and you know, the way it operates is a little awkward, I gotta tell you, but it did function as advertised and it does work. However, like we talked about before, we went ahead and made some changes to the car when we brought it back in, and what we took out of it was exactly what we talked about. This is the receiver ESC combo and the motor. So this is the brushed system that we removed from the car. And it came out pretty easily. It was, you know, there wasn't anything complex about it. We did put a Spectrum 100 Firma speed control in it and a 3300 kilovolt motor to back that up, and it is running the stock gearing. It's a lot faster than it was, and here's the thing, guys. With that brushed system in it running 3/4 of a battery, not even a full battery, the temps hit 225 degrees on that one. We did the same test with this one and it came out at 128. So it runs a lot cooler with the brush stuff in it, which I'm not surprised on that. This is the newer tech and it does control the heat a little better. However, in order to get the motor changed, right down in here, there's 4 bolts that are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 down inside here. They're not very difficult to reach. That allows this whole cap to come off and the motor can come out in your hand. Then it's indexed so you can set whatever pinion size you want. This has a 22 tooth pinion in it, so it's in the A setting, which means there's a lot of room to gear it up. But with this system in it, and I do have a faster motor coming, with this system in it, it's a handful and it's real fun to play with. I don't know about doing the drags with it. It does accelerate good, but with the other motor, maybe it'll have a little more snap to it, a little more punch to where I could run in 2S and run with the rest of the cars. We'll see. But as it sits right there, it does function really well. Now there are some updates to it. Losi comes with some pretty soft tires, and I put more than 50% of the wear on them in one outing. So those don't hold up real well. They're really good on traction, but they don't hold up real well for longevity, and that's where these come into play. Now, these were recommended at the hobby store, and they do have the right offset for the rears and the fronts, so they're different size, which is what this car calls for. So that's what I've been told. We will test that out and see how that works. But for scooting around on the driveway and just skittering and having fun, these should be the ticket. However, if you do want to put the stock ones back on it, Losi does have some chromed ones that are pretty cool. So when we're going to hit the racetrack, these are the ones I'm going to put on it. And just so you get a look at it, there's the part number for, that's the rear. There's the part number for the front. Okay, so there you go. Guys, not only did we change out the equipment we just mentioned, but we also swapped out the radio, and it was necessary because that was an speed control and radio combo, which is this piece right here, which means if you change out one, guys, you have to change the whole system, which means this had to go away. Okay, I wanted this to go away anyway, just due to the size of my hands and the fact that this feels like it's made for children. However, I did put an SR315 in it, and that's little receiver right there, and that little guy is synced up to my DX5C, and it really does a great job. Now I have lots of control over endpoints, speed, rotation, everything I need to control on the car, how much braking it gets, everything can be dealt with here. Now this small receiver here does not have a gyro assist in it, but for the drifting that this thing does, I don't really think it's necessary. I would like to try it with one in future, but for now it does control really well with this, and this particular radio is known to be able to take about 20 kits in there, so you can set it up for multiple cars, which is also a bonus. Okay guys, let's talk about the pros and cons of the car. Now, it is kind of small. They do say it's 10th scale, but my drag cars are 10th scale, and check this picture out. They're 10th scale as well, and there's a huge difference between the two. So this is on-road 10th scale. The drag cars are naturally going to be just a little bit bigger. But as far as that goes, the downside to this car is, well, let's look at the upside first. It's very quick, it's got a lot of power, and it drives and handles very well. For what it is, and once you get out of the box, considering you even get the batteries for the receiver, you can really get after this thing and go like crazy. You do need to have your own LiPo or nickel metal hydrides, whatever you're going to run in it, and you do have to have a charger for that. Other than that though, everything else you need is right in the box, and it's a pretty good system. The problem being, it's a drifter car and it does come with some pretty soft tires. Now they do give you good traction and control, but if you're out on asphalt skidding around, you're going to burn those up pretty fast. So as far as the actual tires themselves, I think it should come with a little firmer compound so that at least there's some longevity to it. You know, a lot of people are going to get this, wear the tires out, and they're going to be disappointed because they're going to have to go right out and buy another set. Well, if they just ship it with the more durable tires to start with, I think it would help a lot for the community as a whole, because this could be the first RC you've ever had, and it should be a good experience all the way around. Aside from that, this car is styled up beautifully. It's a gorgeous car to look at. It's really quick, even with the brush system in it. It's really quick, it's really responsive, and it is a lot of fun to play with, guys. It really is cool. Now, I do like the bigger cars. You know, this reminds me of a Micro Felony, to be honest with you. It handles about the same. It runs out about the same. It has the same angry growl when you pin the throttle. It's just a lot of fun, guys. And if you have a driveway, a parking lot, or someplace that's got some fairly decent asphalt, this is your ride, guys. This thing really flies. Now, all that being said, think about this, guys. For very little money, you can upgrade to the brushless system. You can get a 3300 kilovolt motor for between $30 and $50 right now on eBay. And the Firma 100 speed control runs between $70 and $100 depending on which guy or vendor you buy it from. Still, that's not a lot for the combo that goes in this. And as long as it's a 540 belled system, it will go straight in that and function properly. So the one that I had laying around was a 3300. I do have a 6500 coming, and we'll put that in it and test it as well. But keep in mind, guys, the 15 turn that was in it hit 225 degrees in like half to 3/4 of a battery. Now, it's hot out, I understand that, but still, you could feel the heat coming off the thing. And as soon as I switched it over to brushless, we were down to about 128 degrees, which was a much greater temperature to be at. You don't want to be in those high numbers, because even though it's hot out, it shouldn't have to hit those numbers to do what it's supposed to do. You put a 2S LiPo in it and it gets that hot, something's not quite right. Perhaps it was geared a little bit high, but keep in mind, guys, when you take that plate out that the motor connects to, I had the smallest pinion in it, it will take, so there was no way to gear it down any further. So it's not like something you can go and waste a whole battery. It's really something you should keep an eye on. But once you go brushless, battery, 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 because it never seems to get hot enough to be a problem on the stock gearing. And that's a good thing. So when you think about it, you know, the car's, you know, right around $300 or so, depending on where you get it. And the upgrades are about $120 for the motor and the speed control combo, depending, again, on where you get it. And then the tires run about $50, and that puts you right in where you want to be for some good durable tires on it, some really good grunt and high speed. It will run on 2S, so it's manageable, controllable, and fun, and it runs a long time. Or you'll have the option to go 3S, and it grunts and screams a lot more the way the Felony or the Limitless does, but it's higher pitched because it's a smaller car. It's still a lot of fun to play with, guys. So let's go ahead and get on with our 4 questions. Okay, question 1. Is it fun? Well, yeah, this thing is a lot of fun to play with, but I have to tell you guys, there was one main detractor, and we do rate this out of the box, and it's this, okay? It's way too small. You know, I realize I have big hands, but this is the smallest radio I think I've gotten with a car yet. Even the small Losi and the S-Maxes came with full-size radios. This one, more of a full-size car, little tiny radio. It does work, guys. It does work. It just doesn't work for me. So what I say in this is, this car right here is an absolute blast. Once I switched out the radio so I had the kind of control I like, we kept the stock servo. We did not put a gyro system in it. We just changed out the radio and put a brushless system in it. And it made it a lot of fun. So that brings us up to 7 out of 10 for fun due to the radio. Question number 2, guys. Is it durable? Well, you know, I did tumble it a couple of times. I got into the grass and rolled it a couple times, and I stuffed it under the truck once. Nothing severe. It was all real minor stuff, but it did cartwheel, and the only thing I had happen was it pulled the LEDs out of the lower lights in the front. Just the inertia popped them out, and that was it. Nothing else was broken. I didn't slam straight into anything. Pavement's a little easier to control. But overall, you know, having the plastic driveline and all that stuff in there, it did hold up very well. The controllability was there for it, so I'm going to give this one 9 out of 10 for durability. Question number 3, is it worth the money? Well, you know, it's not a really expensive car, guys. If you want to run it with the little radio and as it comes out of the box, you're going to be under $400 complete, and you should be able to get, you know, a small battery for it and probably a cheap charger and get it all running for probably about $400 to $450 to get it up and running if you don't have anything to start with. Is it fun? Yeah, it's a blast. It does like driveways, big parking lots, but it does kind of need smooth pavement because the ground clearance is so low. It does have a tendency to bottom out on things, and so if you don't have some pretty smooth pavement, you're going to notice it right away as you start making contact with the ground. So, as always, this question is subjective. If you don't have a lot of money laying around, this is a lower budget car to get. It's a high budget car, but the cost is down is what I'm getting at here. You know, this isn't an overly expensive car, and for what you pay for it, I think you get a lot of car for your money. And to get it up and running, you know, 2S batteries aren't overly expensive, and that's what you need to start with. So getting a 2S battery is relatively affordable. You don't need a super razoo charger. You just need something that gets the job done. And you can get those for pretty inexpensive as well. So if you budget shop a little on that stuff, you can be up and running pretty quick with this. So as far as value goes, for me, it's 8 out of 10 for value. And question number 4, guys, where does this stack up in my collection? Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I've got a pretty decent collection, and most of them are pretty high-end cars. I don't do a lot of pavement running. I do have my shelves kind of filled with them right now, but for the most part, I'm a dirt guy, guys. I do enjoy getting out with my friends and playing with these. They're fun, they're quick, they're hard to control at times, and you have to deal with road conditions and all that stuff. And that's just kind of par for the course. But for me, the dirt cars are going to rate a lot higher, guys. So this one here, I hate to say it, guys, this one's not even going to make the top 10 for me. 1, it's a little too small. 2, I don't really have a lot of places to go run with it, and I don't have a big group to go run with, or I'd probably be a little more excited about it. You know, I know they have the new Italian EXB coming out here next week, and I'm really looking forward to that one. So I'm going to put this one in 12th place, and that's where it's going to live for the unboxing end of things. It has a good score, and it's a lot of fun to play with, and it's a great car, guys. But for my application and what I really like, I just have other cars that I think a bit more of. Hey guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. It's awesome when you do. And don't forget that little notification bell to stay informed of upcoming videos. You know, this channel is geared towards the new people. What we try to do is bring them something new to look at, to check out, something that might interest them. And when they get in on it, we're here to help them understand how they can work on them, how they can fix them, how they can upgrade them, and that kind of thing. Because you guys that have been in this a really long time, you already know all this stuff. This is for the new people. And you know, guys, if you have anything to share on this particular car, if you have any comments that will be helpful, please feel free to leave that down below. It's, you know, it's something that we're trying to do for the community. It's not really about the channel. It's about helping others. So hey guys, I'm AJ with AJJAMStudios saying, keep wrenching, guys.